Hello and welcome! I'm Miss Lydia, and in this tutorial I will show you how to make these super cute mushroom lip balm holders. You can use any colors you want, but you will need a color for the cap, a color for the stem, and some green yarn for the strap. We are going to start by crocheting the stem, and we are going to begin at the bottom of the stem and work our way up. Now I know that lip balm comes in lots of different sizes, so I designed this pattern to fit the larger tube here because the small tube will still fit if the mushroom is a little big, but the big one won't fit if the mushroom is a little small. So to get started, we need to grab our stem color, and you can start with either the magic ring or do what I do and chain twice and then single crochet 8 in your foundation ring. For round 2, increase on every stitch until you have 16 stitches total. This is a good time to double check and make sure that this is actually big enough for your lip balm. If the round doesn't extend slightly beyond the edges of your lip balm, you may need to go back and loosen up your stitches a bit or use a larger hook to get the correct size. For round 3 through round 9, all we have to do is single crochet once in every stitch. So this is a good place to put a stitch marker. And once you've gone around 7 times on top of that stitch marker, you have finished this step. I've just finished round 9, and you can see my stitch marker way down there, and there are 7 rows of single crochet stitches on top of it. So now I am ready to start the next step. I call this step round 9.5, and it's a little weird, and I do it this way because this way we don't have to come back and tie anything in or sew anything on. It can all just be one continuous piece, which makes our finished product a lot stronger, and it saves us a little time once we get the hang of the steps. So we are going to be working in the front loop only. If you don't already know, there are 2 loops on top of your round. There's a front loop and a back loop. And we're going to use just the front loop for this step, and we're going to create the skirt of our mushroom by using treble crochet increases. And we're going to increase a lot so that it gets really ruffly. So in the first stitch, do a slip stitch in the front loop only, and then chain 3. And then you're going to do 3 treble crochet in that same spot. So where you just did your slip stitch and chain 3, you're going to put 3 treble crochet right there. Now, if you don't remember how to treble crochet, it's pretty simple. It just has a lot of steps. So you yarn over hook twice, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook and draw your yarn through the stitch. You should still have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over hook again and draw through 2 loops. There will now be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over hook and draw through 2 loops. There are now 2 loops on your hook. So when you yarn over hook and draw your yarn through those 2 loops, you will have just 1 loop on your hook and your stitch is finished. Once you have done the 3 treble crochet, you're going to continue around the rest of the round, still working in the front loop only, and you're going to treble crochet 4 times in every single stitch. And this will crowd a whole bunch of stitches really close together and force them to pile up on top of each other and create this ruffle. When you get back to where you started, do a slip stitch into your chain 3, then chain 3 again so that we can reach back the way we came, and do a slip stitch into that back loop that you didn't use earlier. And once you've done that, round 9.5 is done, and we can start work on round 10. At this stage, I recommend putting a stitch marker in the loop that's currently on your hook, because that will end up being the top of the first stitch that you make in round 10. It's going to make it so much easier for you to see where it's at. So go ahead and stick a stitch marker in there. And now you're just going to single crochet once in the back loop of every stitch until you get back to where you started, and that should give you 16 stitches total. I recommend counting as you go to make sure that's how many you have, so that you don't end up with any unwelcome surprises later on. All right, great job. You've gone all the way around. We're back to our stitch marker. Just check really quickly to make sure that you have 16 stitches total, counting the one with the stitch marker in it. Remember, the stitch marker marks the very first stitch on this round, and that's important because this is an easy spot to pick up or lose stitches. So that will help you make sure you have exactly the stitch count you want. Then the rest is easy. We're just going to single crochet once in every stitch until we finish round 14. Once you've finished round 14, finish with a slip stitch, fasten off, and then weave in your tail. It's time to crochet the strap. This is the part that holds the whole mushroom together and gives us something to hold on to. To crochet the strap, join your green yarn to any stitch on round 14 of the stem, and then chain 25, count 9 stitches from where you joined, and do a slip stitch into the 9th stitch. Then you just fasten off, weave in your tail. Now, if you want to make this strap longer, you can do that. Just make the chain longer. But I found that 25 is pretty much the minimum. You don't really want to go shorter than this, or you're going to have a hard time getting the mushroom open. Now it is time to make the mushroom cap. So grab your cap color and start your round however you like to start your round. Again, you can use the magic ring or the chain 2 method. I am using the chain 2 method. And then single crochet 6 in your first round. On round 2, increase 6 times, so you're going to increase on every stitch until you have 12 stitches total. For round 3, single crochet once in the first stitch and then increase on the second. Repeat that pattern 6 times so that you have 18 stitches total. Alright, round 4 is a doozy, and I apologize in advance for this, but I will do my best to explain. So what you need to do is single crochet once in the first stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, and then increase on the stitch after that. And before you do that increase, you are going to sandwich the strap in between the chain 1 and the stitch that's beneath it. And that will enclose the strap inside of the chain space so that the mushroom is all one piece. You can slide the mushroom cap up, you can slide the mushroom cap down, but it cannot come completely off and get lost. Check real quick before continuing to make sure that the strap is coming out through the top of the mushroom so that the cap can slide up and down the way it's supposed to. So after you have done that first increase, you are going to single crochet once in the next 2 stitches, increase again, single crochet once in the next 2 stitches, increase, and then you're going to repeat the first thing we did so that you can enclose the other half of the strap. So you will single crochet once, chain once, skip a stitch, sandwich the other side of the strap in between the chain 1 and the stitch that you skipped, and then increase. And then you just finish out the round with single crochet twice, then increase, single crochet twice, and then increase. Round 5 is much easier. Single crochet once in the next 2 stitches and then increase. Repeat that 8 times until you have 32 stitches. Also, just in case you were wondering, the chain space counts as a stitch, so just crochet over that chain space the same way you would any other stitch. For round 6, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, increase on the 4th, and repeat that 8 times until you have 40 stitches total. For round 7, all you have to do is single crochet once in every stitch, then finish with a slip stitch and fasten off your yarn. Alright, now we are in the final stretch. There's just one more thing to do, and that is to crochet the underside of the mushroom cap. So take your stem color and join it to the back loop only of any stitch in round 7. It doesn't matter which one, just plug it in there anywhere. And then you are going to chain 3. And this chain 3 is going to count as a treble crochet stitch. So make sure when you are counting your stitches that you count this one as a stitch. Now, after you have done your chain 3, you are going to treble crochet 4 together. That means you are going to start 4 treble crochet stitches, but not finish them until you get to the very last one, and then finish them all at once. So as you can see here, I am doing the treble crochet stitch normally right up until that very last step, and I don't quite finish it until I have 4 unfinished treble crochet on my hook, and then I finish them all at the same time to turn them into one stitch. And this will create that ruffly look on the bottom of our mushroom. So you're going to repeat this pattern. You're going to treble crochet and then treble crochet 4 together, treble crochet 4 together until you get to the very end, and then you will treble crochet 4 together one more time and then slip stitch into your chain 3 to finish this round. Now you might notice that your stitches are a little looser than usual. It's hard to get the top of your stitches as tight as you're probably used to, and that's totally fine. This isn't amigurumi, so our stitches don't have to hold water. And we'll be able to fix that looseness with the next step. You have been doing such a great job. I am so proud of you, and you are almost finished. You just have 2 rounds left to go, and these are the rounds that will tighten up our loose stitches from the previous round and give our mushroom cap the shape that we really, really want. So for the next 2 rounds, rounds 9 and 10, you are going to single crochet in every stitch. You should have 16 stitches total in the round, so just crochet 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. Do that twice. Finish with a slip stitch, fasten off, weave in your tails, and you're done. Congratulations! So that's it for this tutorial. I hope that I taught you something new, something interesting, but most importantly, I hope that you had fun. I look forward to seeing you again on our next crochet adventure. Until then, stay crafty!